what makes a good DLC character in JoJo's All-Star Battle R? To me, it's gotta be someone with a unique moveset. Ideally, a unique gimmick that we've never seen before in the game, while at the same time capturing the essence of the character from the show. Not only in their cinematic intros or taunts, but in their moves as well. I want to feel like I'm playing the character that I've watched in the show. I want to be able to do what they do, and at the same time, it has to be a fun character to play within the context of this fighting game. JoJo's All-Star Battle R has done this to varying degrees of success for all of its characters. Over 50 characters, and most of them have unique gimmicks, all of them paying close attention to the source material, and that's what makes this roster so impressive. And Stroheim is, by every single metric that I just mentioned, a fantastic DLC character. If you like JoJo because it's a funny anime, I think you'll like Stroheim because he is a funny character, and it starts right when you pick him up. In this game, some characters have the Hamon style, they're stand characters or they're mounted characters. You've got these different styles to pick, so even though the characters are unique, you have some sort of expectation of how they will play. Stroheim's style is best science in the world. It tells me nothing, and at the same time it tells me everything. His style button makes him alternate between two different modes. The first one we're just gonna call his normal mode, and the second one is the UV lights mode. At first this looked like a stand on, stand off type of thing, and changing modes does change his moveset just like a stand character, but there are some differences here. For starters, you cannot stand cancel. You cannot cancel a normal move by hitting the stand button, changing your moveset, and keeping the combo going. Now, this is something that you can only change when you're not doing anything else. And two, the UV mode is limited by this bar at the bottom. The bar fills up over time when you're in normal mode, but you can also fill it all the way up by landing Stroheim's level 1, which is pretty easy to land. And you can change anytime, the bar doesn't have to be full, but the more meter you have, the longer you can stay in this UV mode. And UV mode is powerful. These are your buttons when you activate it. As you can see, they have incredible range. Plus, crouching heavy is an off-the-ground launcher, so after any knockdown, you can straight up just change modes and hit them with a beam. This UV mode deals some very good damage, and this is a pretty simple combo, just using normal attacks and flash cancels. But the thing is, that is all you have. While in this UV mode, Stroheim has no special moves, it's just these normals, and his level 2 super. But that's it. So as powerful as this move looks, it can be really expensive to keep a combo going in UV mode. Unless the opponent doesn't roll tech, in that case you can just keep running up to them and hitting them with crouching heavy. You're gonna learn today, son! His assist is also the heavy attack from this mode. It's listed as a close range attack, and it is, but it's got pretty good range too. There is, however, a big downside to UV mode that I did not notice until I jumped into my first online match. I dropped the combo with the UV lights, and my opponent was able to knock me down. And then I was trying to do a special move on Wake Up, because Stroheim has a DP, or he's supposed to have a DP, more on that later, but it wasn't coming out. And that's because the UV light mode stays on even if you are hit or knocked down, which means I don't have any special moves. The special moves aren't just useful to extend combos, you also lose your defensive abilities. So you definitely do not want to get caught with your UV lights on, because your meter is going to keep depleting, you won't be able to turn them off, and you have no specials while they are on. I immediately thought, wow, this is an interesting gimmick, and it really motivated me to learn the character. But since we're playing online, why not give you guys an update on the status of JoJo? I've actually never seen the online so active on PlayStation, not since launch. I've been able to find matches every 5 to 10 minutes, which is still a long time to wait between matches, but it's much better than when Risotto or Weather Report came out, where it was actually just dead. This time, I've been finding randoms to play with, and that's great news. Are the matches good? No, not all of them, but at this point, you know what you're signing up for. But just like that, you already know half of Stroheim's movesets. That's it for the UV light mode. All he's got is his normals and how the gimmick works, but he does feel like a more complete character in his normal state. So let's take a look at what he can do. He's a charge character. Just kidding, I couldn't resist the hair joke. Although, did you know that Guile from Street Fighter is actually a JoJo reference? I'm not kidding, look it up. I think his normals are pretty straightforward, nothing weird here. His standing heavy is 2 hits, so he can give you a lot of time to confirm into stuff. His standing medium, if you're juggling an opponent, can sometimes hit the opponent towards his back. That makes combos look a bit funky like this, with constant side switching. I kinda like it, but it looks janky for sure. And he has a command normal with forward heavy, which is an overhead, and it knocks the opponent down. But you can follow this up with a special move if you want to keep the combo going. As far as specials go, he's got 4 of them, and they're fairly straightforward for the most part, covering a lot of the stuff that you want in a character. For instance, he's got a fast projectile with a machine gun that comes out of his belly. So he can zone. He's not a zoner, but he can zone. He's got a DP, which the description says it's invincible. I don't see the invincibility, honestly. I got hit while trying to do it in matches, and in the lab, I set the dummy to just repeat the input over and over again, and I was able to interrupt it very consistently. So I don't know what's up with that description. I'm not feeling very invincible right now. now. The heavy version goes into a cinematic attack if you hit it really close, but other than that, I just treat it as an uppercut type move that doesn't have invulnerability at all, which means I barely use it. Then you have the grenade, which is lobbed at a different distance depending on the attack button. This is a reverse DP motion, by the way. If you're allergic to DP motions, this character might not be for you. This grenade is awesome. Not only is it a really good setup tool, they just throw and then mix the opponent, it's actually useful in combos. It gives you some very cool loops, but because this is Stroheim, if he's anywhere near those grenades, he's gonna get hit as well. And that's just funny. The last special move is probably the most straightforward. It's gonna be your go-to for combos. It's a simple jab. They can then follow up with another attack button if you want to launch your fist. You can launch it on hit or on block. You cannot, however, launch it on whiff. You gotta connect with the opponent. And as far as supers go, we've seen his level 1 already, so pretty easy to hit, and has the bonus feature of filling up that entire UV bar. So if you want to go into UV mode quick, land that level 1 super. And then level 2 looks like this, and I don't really like that the start of the animation looks very similar to the level 1. It's like they didn't have a different idea for the super here, so they're both basically the same, but the level 2 extends the animation further. That's not exactly how it is, it's just how it feels to me. As I mentioned, you can do the level 2 while in UV mode as well. It's the same super, but you cannot do the level 1. Otherwise, you just refill the UV bar forever and ever. Now, I did save the best for last because we have one more gimmick to go through, and that is Stroheim self-destructs.
I have no other options.
Yep, he is Guile and Android 16. So if you have 2 bars of meter, you can pull the pin off the grenade and just lie down on top of it. It only costs 1 bar to do this, but you need 2 bars to pull it off. After a while, the grenade explodes, taking half of the opponent's health bar and leaving you with only 1 HP. Also, it leaves you without meter for the rest of the fight. Not just a round, the whole fight. So obviously, this is something you want to use to finish off an opponent. That said, it's not super easy to land because it takes a really long time to come off, but at the same time, it's not super easy to interrupt. Stroheim becomes invincible and this attack is unblockable. Even throws will not work. The only way to interrupt it is by hitting Stroheim with a move that triggers a cutscene. So you could throw a super or a command grab, for instance. But the best way is probably to just take a step back and let the enemy Stroheim take his own health bar. I think this is probably one of the funniest ways to kill an enemy. It's a big knowledge check. If someone doesn't know how to deal with it, they're gonna panic. But you, on the other hand, you're gonna be laughing your ass off. Welcome to fighting games. That, by the way, is one of my favorite round win celebrations in the entire game. I think this character is awesome. Definitely worth your money if you're into JoJo All-Star Battle R, but do keep in mind that this is what the online still looks like. So if you don't have friends to play this with, you're gonna have fun in the lab, but that's probably it. Let me know what you think of the character in the comments, and for more JoJo, check out our review on Weather Report and Father Pucci. Boy.